come. Magic carpet styling. Move like magic that challenge. Proof you need reminding. Getting round that losing shop. Uma will cheat back again. You will never end the rain. We keep multiplying. Running through the evidence. There's no denying.
Hi, family, and welcome to Get the Tea on Me Royalty and Spiritual Soul Food, because I will be posting this video on both of my channels, because I feel like this is a really spiritual topic, because just over the years, I don't know, people's age groups out there. Though I know I came from an era where we used to watch a lot of Leave It to Beaver and Brady Bunch, and we didn't watch a lot of that, though those were the shows that were really prominent during that time. And when I was growing up, Leave It to Beaver and all these shows would be imbalanced in the way that they would have the African American shows always, broke people trying to get out the ghetto and never making it out. Good times, there was like maybe 7 adults living in one apartment, and the good times, nobody ever got out the ghetto. Nobody ever got out that one apartment, and then the father who worked his finger to the bone ended up dying before even getting out the ghetto. So that showed there were 3 men in the house that couldn't even have enough creativity or an idea to get themselves out of a situation. And then there were the women, which are actually the kings of the family. They're sitting there and having no clue of how to get their family out of the ghetto, whether it was through prayer, whether it was through hoodoo, voodoo, or whatever. Nobody had a clue. Okay, nobody had a clue. So these are the things that I remember being raised on, watching the Wright families on the television, exceed and, portray this happy-go-lucky, beautiful, just shiny porcelain family, and one thing I can say about that is it is the biggest foolery and fuckery known to man. And as I'm an adult now, and I'm watching this, and I'll go to the Lifetime channel. I love me some Lifetime movies. Now I only watch Lifetime movies. I don't watch any movies where there's a African American woman being berated, whether she's being abused, cursed out. I don't watch any of that. I don't even allow that into my psyche, because I know that it's not the ways of us, So, but that was something that was being massaged and fed to us as we grew, that this is our dynamic, that this is what we come from, is toxicity and arguing. And even look at shows like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, or Basketball Wives. Like, these are full grown 45, 35-year-old women, and all they do is fight and argue. I have no clue of what half those people do, as far as their profession, what college they graduated from, or anything positive. Everything that I've ever seen on these shows is negative. So this is the information and the energy that they like to feed our Black communities. And it's nothing new. It's been going on for a very long time. And I'm just sitting here, and one day I'm watching these Lifetime movies. Even the white women that were either getting cheated on, or maybe her husband was even going to kill her at the end of the movie. Throughout the movie, they're living in this big, fabulous mansion. So no matter what kind of problems she has as far as being abused and beaten, or cheated on, this white woman is living like a life of luxury. Like, she has everything at her fingertips, even the police department and the community this. And, she has all the keys to the city, but her one little problem is her husband's cheating on her, or he wants to kill her for another woman. And for me, it's almost as if a Black woman is in a situation like that in the movie, oh, she's living in a half-ass neighborhood. And if it does have a little luxury to it, it's the woman in the movie that accumulated these material things, meaning they'll never have it as the Black man has actually successfully built an empire, and now he's running this empire around his children and his woman. And even though he got some shady ways, at least the Black woman has been elevated materially and financially to the level and to the caliber of a living that she deserves. And so when watching these movies, I was like, they're still doing this stuff. they're still sitting here where even they'll have a black guy that's in love with a white woman, he's just, treating her so nice and stroking her little pale skin and just, just doing all this stuff that you will never see happening on television with a black woman, unless there's some type of trick behind it, like, oh, we're only treating you kind because we have an ulterior motive. There's never a movie, or I've never seen a movie where there has been a black woman being loved properly, ever. And I mean, I look for them sometimes. I just gave up because no matter what she's going through, and even if she is a woman who has been successful, because I'm not talking about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry made some movies, and they still have the same, basically narrative as far as the black woman having some, you know, horrible issues, or the black man not really loving the black woman properly. And so, yeah, I was watching a Lifetime movie the other day, and I just started saying, you know what? I'm really going to start watching the things that I allow myself to consume, whether it's through music or it's just, visual, because it's just not, it's not my reality. And you find yourself getting emotionally caught up in these movies because, yeah, they're sometimes sad, sometimes even, they're sometimes sad, sometimes they can be a message in the movie. And unless it's a true story, I really don't want to watch it, because even with my father growing me up on things like Roots and Alex Haley, the slave movies and stuff, that was because my father wanted me to know that when you see those people, or you can bet you can look for something shady from them. And it's never failed. I've never ran into a person that didn't have that, even though they were showing that smile and that smiling face. It was always something underneath that paleness that was saying, I'm better than you. And but or not even saying I'm better than you. It's almost like a appearance that they have to upkeep. And so I don't even know where I was really going to go with this topic. Though the other day when I was laying in my bed, I said, I'm gonna make a video about this crap. Because I grew up on, just like I said, good times. Even the Jeffersons. Remember the Jeffersons? They were moving on up. Moving on up where? I never seen them go no higher than that apartment. They had a maid. They had a maid and their friend. He was married to the black woman. And then they had Florida, that was the maid. And, she was about the funniest one on there besides George Jefferson. Weezy was cool. Though at the end of the day, you guys, it's like and then the one time that they showed a series of a black family, which was Empire, it was as toxic as a toilet bowl with roaches and bed bugs in it. It was just as toxic as a vagina, which herpes. I'm just saying that's what I see when I think about Empire, the series. It might as well have just been called the disease series, or gonorrhea, because it had no reflection of who I am as a goddess, or who I even would want to be, because I would rather be broke with morals, values, and a crown sitting upright on my head than to be filthy rich and famous with the spirit of a gutter rat. With the spirit of a gutter rat, that, or a pigeon, something that's like a bottom feeder, a scavenger. That's what Empire is to me. When I watch, I don't get nothing out of that. I was sitting there, when I watched the whole series, I was sitting there shaking my head, because there wasn't no way I was going to watch it while it was playing. I need for the whole season to play out, then I can just watch them all, because I'm not gonna be waiting to see what happens the next day. No, you're not gonna have me stuck on stupid, waiting till next week so I can see something. But anyway, you guys, I want to get on here just so that you guys can start looking at and paying attention to the things that you're watching. Does it uplift you as a black woman? If you see a movie where there's a black guy worshiping a white woman, turn it. I don't care how good that movie is looking like it's about to be. Turn it. And unless you can find a black movie where the black man is worshiping a black woman and lifting her up on the pedestal like that movie is doing for the white woman. You need to keep a balance when it comes to what you're feeding yourself, because you're not even aware of it, but slowly but surely they're massaging into your brain that you don't deserve as much as this pale lady. When you're the one that created everything on this planet, the black woman created every race, from the Asians to the Mexicans to everything. We are the goddesses of this planet. We are the kings of this throne. So I will not let anybody or allow any movie show to represent anything other than that to me. And it's so sad that I grew up on this stuff, watching it and not really knowing how these lower levels of living were being massaged into my psyche. As far as saying, hey, you're never going further than this. So just imagine people who used to watch Good Times and they was living in the ghetto. They probably just gave up, said, well, they didn't make it out the ghetto. I guess I never will either. Like, Pookie, come on out the ghetto, Pookie. That is not where you belong, Pookie. Your name is probably Kareem or Malik. Why you're bullcrapping. So at the end of it all, you guys, I just wanted to say that just monitor what you're watching more closely, because I'm telling you, these pale people, they have a trick for your ass at every turn when it comes to these movies and what your children are watching as well. You know what I mean? Okay, we need more African American cartoons. They got the Dora, and they'll make a big purple dinosaur before they ever put a superhero that's an African kid for your children, or some type of even with, and I'm into magic and doing all kinds of things now, and though when I used to watch shows that were about magic, it was always white women and stuff they stole from us in ancient times. And now they're trying to work it on us. There was some series, but there was these witches, and there was only one black girl in the whole group. And I'm gonna tell you just like this too, for women who are into, what I'm into as far as African spirituality, doing magic, whether it's hoodoo, voodoo, whatever you don't ever get in a group where there's a bunch of white people, because they're using you as a battery. Okay? I want you to know that they're using you, your black ass, excuse my language, but they're using you as a battery. They tried to do it to me one time when I first was coming into African spirituality. I used to go to these different areas and shop for my crystals, and they would always try to overcharge me because I was new to the game. That's what the white folks would do. And I love white people, but y'all got to know, y'all got some jacked up ways of showing your love for us. And when I used to go shopping for my crystals, they used to try to overcharge me. And not only would they try to overcharge me, but they would try to get me to join these little covens or these little groups and say, yeah, come sit with us. And, because you're all excited about just finding who you are. It has nothing to do with they Wiccan and what they do. That Wiccan stuff ain't nothing but lower level magic. It has nothing to do with that etheric black magic okay, it compares in no way. And I knock that stuff over with a feather. Like, I blow that Wiccan right back to him. So, but anyway, one day I went to sit with this woman who invited me to some type of little setting. And when I first got there, a lady stood up in the middle of the group, and this is way off topic as far as monitoring what you watch and monitoring what your children watch on TV. But this goes just for us brujas and goddesses who work their magic as well. Honey, they told me to come to this group setting where I sat down. When I got there, there's another black woman there. She's the only one. It's almost like maybe 15 people in a room, and we're the only two black people. Okay. That right there gave me reason for pause, because my father raised me that not to even trust these people. Now I'm in a whole circle with them. And my chair, I kid you not, when I got there, because people know who I am. When people see me when the other spirits see me, they know how high I'm ranked in the spirit realm. Those spirits have been watching me since I was a baby. And I'm going to show you a picture where I have a big burn in the middle of my face, on the middle of my forehead, where a spirit tried to burn my face off as a child. And it only made the shape of a butterfly. The burn made the shape of a butterfly on my forehead. Though I have been under attack for a very long time, because other spirits know who I am. And so they try to attack me. And sometimes people don't even know why they're attacking me. But it's to tear down this divine purpose that I have. And anybody that's ever tried to tear it down, they've gotten ran over by a Mack truck and smushed like a bug. Okay. But these women invited me into this circle. And when I got in there, there's one woman, she's a white lady. She stands up and she puts her hands in the air, like the black goddess Yemaya, puts her hands in the air. And she starts reciting something. And then all the other people look around and they say, okay, they're here. I'm like, who's here? Because I'm looking around like, I don't see anybody. They're like, okay, they're here. So I'm like, okay, they're here. Okay. Whatever. Because my husband already taught me nothing they do can ever beat you. But they will use you as a battery, because you're the most powerful out of all of them. And so as I'm sitting there, I started to feel like my energy shifting inside of my body. And because I'm a vegan, because I, practice spirituality, I do my tuning forks that I normally have on at my disposal anytime I need to clear my energy. Let me give you guys a little bit of that. But yeah, I always have my tuning forks on me or my sounding bowl. So I'm always adjusting my own frequency. So I know when someone comes in to, try to, move my frequency around or my energy. And as I'm sitting in this room, I felt my energy shifting. I was like, what the hell? It was almost as if something was pulling from me. And I remember my husband saying, you better watch being around them white folks and being with their little groups, because I told him about the little group that I was inviting to. And what he told me, he said, be careful, because they will try to use you as a battery, because they know we're etheric beings and they know that the melanated blood, okay, which they call the blood of Jesus that they be drinking in church. They're talking about the melanated blood giving you power. And they know that our melanin, it vibrates much higher than their frequency. Let's just say that. It vibrates much higher than their frequency. So they'll use us as a battery and drain you. And right as the woman began talking and I felt my energy shifting, I remembered what my husband and I said. I said, you know what? I said, I forgot I have ice cream in the car. I didn't even care about who was talking. I forgot I had ice cream in the car. I'm out. And I tell you, when I said that I was leaving, the look on the lady's face was as if, we haven't drained her yet. That was the look on her face. I remember that to this day, that the look on her face wasn't as if I disrespected the meeting by saying I had to go early. I know what that looks like. Oh, I'm sorry, you interrupted the meeting. No, baby, you're draining my energy. And I looked back at the black girl that was sitting on the other side of me, and I went like this. I went just like this. I didn't care if the other white people that was sitting on the side of her, I didn't care if those people saw me. I looked at her and I was like, girl, I'm out of here. And I left. But when I left, I felt something following me. They knew who I was. And when I walked into the shop, they knew who I was. They're like, oh, she's from that ancient royal bloodline. Ooh, yeah, get her in here. And what I was going to say is, when I came in, the circle was already set. Everybody's chair was at one level. My chair was the highest chair in the room. Now, I know sometimes you run out of chairs. I know sometimes you run out of chairs and you just got to grab the only chair that you see just for everybody can fit in. Okay. But there was other chairs. There were other chairs against the wall that was on the same level, that like the folding chairs. Everybody else was sitting in folding chairs, and my chair was like a chair that was sitting like this much higher. So I'm the highest person in the room. Like, no. But and I told my husband. My husband said they had me on the altar. My husband said they had me on the altar, baby. I got up out of there, and as I left, I felt something following me. But I know that my ancestors, I know who my ancestors are, and I know that they're powerful, and I know that they will fuck people up. Excuse my language. And so I told my ancestors, I said, I don't know what this is that's following this card, whatever spirit that is. And I said, I need you to take it down, and take it down now, before I even reach my house. And I don't know what happened. But the further I drove, the more that spirit just kind of faded away. And that was an experience that I needed to have, because sometimes when we're stepping into our spirituality as goddesses, we are lost because we've been worshiping Jesus or Allah or these other things all of our lives, and so now we're stepping into something that's kind of like uncharted territory. We don't know where we're at. We're just in the woods and we're looking around. We don't have really any experience, climbing trees. Like, I could go into a jungle right now and basically survive because I know my herbs. I pretty much know what my leaves look like. I know what I can eat and what I cannot eat. It's different things that I know now to where I can actually survive in the wilderness like my ancestors did. And so but anyway, you guys, I digress because I think I went a little far to the left. And because you got to know there's different pantheons that we come from, and my ancient pantheon is the beginning of everything. All this other stuff that people are practicing out here is stuff that people have basically said, okay, we're going to take that original text and we're going to throw our own little spin on it. So basically a lot of the stuff that you might be practicing that other people are pulling you into is something that someone put a spin on. I don't have no cut. My stuff is all pure. I don't put no cut on it. I don't try to be acting like I'm working in light. That I just do light magic. No, I do light magic and dark magic. It depends on what you bring out of me, or depends on what is required is what you're going to get. So I don't have to fear working with black magic because that is who I am. I am black magic. Like, who made me fear that? So at the end of the day, yeah, start, monitoring what your children are watching. If it's not something that's going to empower them, get them out of there. Stop sending your kids into a room full of white kids and thinking that's a good school. No, that's a horrible school because that white teacher is not going to honor your brown baby like she's honoring the rest of them, honoring the rest of those little, you know. Okay? So, we really have to monitor what our children are watching because at the end of the day, they're elevating their children and their children's magic through these televisions. That's what the vision, that's what the television, that's why they call it a television because it's telling you what your vision needs to be. This is your vision. This is your reality. That is what they're telling you on the television. We're going to tell you your vision. We're not going to allow you to have your own vision of what it should be or what it is, or to draw from your Akashic records that are already inside of you, your galactic Akashic records that go dated back billions of years from the beginning, where I'm from. No, they're going to start they're going to start right where they started messing everything up, okay? And so you do not want to be absorbing those frequencies all the time. If you're African American, whether you a male or a female, and if a man is watching this a movie where there's a black man beating on the African goddess and calling her out her name, don't watch that. Make all those type of movies lose their ratings. And I challenge you to do that. All movies that are not elevating the black god and the African goddess and the African kings or the African gods, make them lose the ratings for those type of movies. If they're not elevating you and what they're telling you on the vision, or when they're not telling you something good in the vision on television, boo-boo, escape and get out of there fast. Oh, you're gonna be in the sunken place. Girl, please. Okay. It's like and it's like I'm so done with Lifetime. But what I will watch is a good white movie where they jacking each other up. He cheating on her, she cheating on him, they cheating on each other, he killed her, sliced her head off, she beating him with a bat. I'll watch all that. But when it comes to our African goddesses and kings going through some ratchetness, I don't watch that. I'm not going to watch it because it has nothing to do with my reality. And so remember, the television shall tell you your vision if you're not wise enough to disconnect, okay, from what is not serving you or serving your psyche or your children's vision of who they are as they grow. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'm just glad I got on here and got a video out, you guys, because I do not want to be Shady Nate when it comes to the video. So yeah, let's go ahead and cleanse some energy. Ashe. So you guys, yes, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I hope what I spoke on today resonated with someone. I'm sure there's somebody out there now that you guys are gonna be watching your movies. You're gonna be like, girl, she right about that. You are not gonna find a movie where they're elevating the black woman. And if she is being elevated, I want you to tag my channel and say, hey, they're elevating the black woman in this movie. Or let's say it this way. And sometimes when they're elevating the black woman, it's because she was raised by a white family. It's gonna always be some twist. It's never gonna be that a black family raised a black child and they have an empire and this black child is stepping out and she's just, or he's just, whether it's a he or a she, they're not doing it. Not on television. They're not gonna tell you that vision. But you gotta know the vision. You know what I'm saying, that mama has set for you. You have to know that the vision that has been set from you since the beginning of time, it was set for you. It is stamped in blood, okay? Because at the end of the day, no matter what they say, in each and every single way, I am royalty. You are royalty. We are royalty, family, and I shall see you in a minute. Ashe.
Oh, brother. Abracadabra, here I come. Magic carpet styling, move like magic excellence. Proof unique reminding. Getting round and losing some. Uma with you back again. You will never end the rain. We keep multiplying. Running through the evidence, there's no denying.